LOOP is the Louisiana Outdoors Outreach Program, and the mission is to deliver world-class outdoor education resources to underserved youth of Louisiana. In our schools, they're 80–85%, sometimes well over 90% below poverty line. With a lot of these kids, there's very little exposure to nature, and what exposure there is very brief and very surface level.
Today we will begin this adventure by traveling back to the days when pirates sailed the seas. In the early 1800s, there was a very famous pirate who lived right here in Louisiana named John Lafitte.
He had 1,000 men. John Lafitte was in a swamp. The British came to him and they offered him money.
They're just so used to learning everything in a book, and so they never get to see it come to life. And Loop offers that, so kids get the opportunity to go on an adventure and see everything up close. You go back in history and you learn about John Lafitte, and then you get to go and find out this is where he used to be, this is the kind of stuff he used to do. And then while you're there, you get to go out to nature and see what he used to see. They start drawing conclusions. And okay, now I understand why this snake lives here. This is his environment, this is what he needs.
The mammal I saw was a squirrel. We saw a snake. And we saw 13 alligators. And some frogs. I felt like I was in my own zoo.
Fifth grade and sixth grade, it starts to become about membership. They learn technical skills, they learn soft skills.
My name is Lexi Castro, and I've been a Loop member since 2005. I moved to Houston after the hurricane, and from there I went to college, and I took that experience that I learned from Loop all the way to my college years.
Expeditionary learning, it's long-term. It's with scaffolded pieces where you're starting with simple stuff and building up to more complex.
With the trail, the kids, they were using a compass, and with that, they learned the different degrees, the different angles, different type of trees, and that's very important when they go out to the classroom and the real world.
We still learn stuff even though we're having fun.
As they get into upper middle school, 7th and 8th grade, it becomes more intense. They use the challenge course.
Our 7th graders now, we're 3rd graders the year after Katrina. So now that they're 7th graders, they get to do just tons of really amazing and in-depth things that they wouldn't have the experience or background knowledge to be able to do without that long-term development.
They want it to be like teamwork. Everybody work with everybody. If he can't do this, everyone helps him do it.
Like, you're way up high, and I'm really scared of heights, but then after this, like, I'm not that scared anymore.
I've always thought that learning happens quickest when you are out of your element. That's a huge asset of the program, and something that, you know, kids will experience throughout their life, being uncomfortable and out of their element, and then what to do when you're in those situations and how to overcome those challenges.
Graduates of our LOOP program become summer interns with us. And so that's really important because those are kids from the communities that we work in who have experienced what we do.
We're just getting out of the adolescent stage that they in, and we still remember and still go back to those same adolescent habits, you know, and we can relate to the way they feel and what they think and, you know, the type of things they do.
It's important to have high school interns working with Loop because they relate to the kids that we work with, and they also help bridge the gap between us and the kids that we serve.
Well, I really give them confidence. If they get scared, you know, scared to walk up there, and they see me going up there doing the activity, you know, they might have more confidence in themselves, and then I'm gonna go up there. It's a good resource for kids, for students to have. Like, some kids, it keeps them out of trouble. Like, when I used to get suspended from school, I used to come to Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan, I come work here instead of out on the streets, and you know, I can come volunteer with you.
I'm a factor in this Loop thing. Like, I need to be here. If I could be a role model to children, I could be a role model to anybody. Why not?
The chief benefits to me are the development of leadership skills by the students, particularly their communication skills, which will be so important to them as they enter the job market in the 21st century.
What we find is that as a result of participating in Loop, the kids are just simply better adjusted. They're much more relaxed at school because of really the therapeutic nature of what happens in their experiences in the Loop program.
They learn as much as they can about the South Louisiana environment that's so important to us, because our students would never have the chance to do that otherwise.
Giving what any kid should get, growing up in a really healthy and positive way, giving that to these kids. I think those with the most need have the least exposure. And so that's what we're trying to do, is bridge that gap. Trying to bring those who have the most need and give them the most exposure.